In today's video, I'm diving into the Clemson Tigers offensive powerhouse from the Trevor Lawrence era and showing you how you can replicate their success in college football 25. From 2018 to 2020, Clemson showcased one of the most versatile and explosive offenses in college football, led by the generational talent of Trevor Lawrence and dynamic playmakers like Travis Etienne, T. Higgins, and Justin Ross. Clemson's offense wasn't just about a strong passing game, it was about balancing that with a potent ground attack and utilizing a ton of RPOs to keep defenses guessing. With a mix of spread formations, high tempo, and creative play calling, they kept opponents on their heels, consistently ranking among the top offenses in the nation. And this approach led Clemson to 3 consecutive college football playoff appearances and a national championship victory in 2018, cementing their legacy as one of the most dominant and well-rounded offenses in recent history. Now, this is all going to be a part of a bigger scheme I'm creating where I break down 3 historic teams that use the spread to run offense in college football 25. Each will get its own in-depth breakdown video showing you how to play like the real life offense is, but then they're all going to be run out of the USC Playbook so you can combine them all into one cohesive scheme, and I'll link the playlist for the entire offense down in the description below. Now we're going to break down the formations and run game for this Clemson offense that we will be running. Clemson's offense under Trevor Lawrence thrived using shotgun trip sets to stretch defenses and create mismatches, and we're going to replicate this in college football 25 with formations like gun Trey open offset. These formations helped Lawrence quickly read defenses and exploit openings in both the passing and running game, and in college football 25 this formation will let us attack defenses with a good mix of quick reads, RPOs, and deep shots, keeping our opponents consistently on edge. Now the run we are looking at here is cake read option. This will be a normal read option run on the perimeter, so we're going to read the read icon player, and if at the snap he crashes down, then you can just keep it with your QB, get into the open field, and make a play. Lawrence was a really underrated athlete, and the Tigers would use him on designed runs a ton to put pressure on defenses. Then where this play is unique is if the R player stays on the QB, you can hand this ball off, but on this play we're going to have a pulling guard leading out in front, and you just want to let him pick up his block. Then you can spring out from behind him, and this can turn into some huge gains with your running back. Then Clemson effectively used trip sets with a tight end in line as a blocker to add versatility to their offense, and we're going to mirror this in college football 25 with our formation Y off trio weak. This setup provided a balanced attack where their tight end could contribute to the run game or release into a route, adding an extra layer of complexity for defenses to handle. And in college football 25 this formation will allow us to blend power running with quick passes and play action, giving us the ability to adapt and exploit any defensive look. Now the play we're looking at here is PAHB swing. Here, come out with your swing going to the wide side of the field, then take your solo receiver and put him on a slant route. Now this starts with a play action fake, then your running back will arrow out to the wide side of the field, and the tight end's gonna follow him and become an extra blocker. Then we're also gonna have our 2 receivers blocking on the edge, so you can just drop it out to your back, let him get behind his blocks, and this can turn into a super explosive pickup. Now this play action does a great job of disguising the running back before the swing, and this can allow you to have way more space on the perimeter when you flip him the ball. Then the last part of this play is going to be if at the snap the whole defense is jumping over to the running back, then we have this backside slant that we can hit over the middle of the field for a second option. Then Clemson used a balanced 2x2 double sets with a tight end on one side and a slot receiver on the other, added a layer of unpredictability to their offense. This formation allowed them to keep defenses honest, creating opportunities in both the run and the pass. The tight end could stay in to block or release into a route, while the slot receiver could put a ton of pressure on the middle of the field. In college football 25 we're going to use similar balanced set to create multiple threats on both sides of the field, forcing defenses to cover every inch of grass and making it easier for us to exploit mismatches. Then the play we're looking at here is RPO glance post. Here, come out with your bubble to the wide side, and then I like to look at the post first, and you want to look to the defender on that side with the R icon, and if at the snap he fires down on the run, then you can just throw this post in behind him as he breaks over the middle, and this can turn into a really big pickup. Then you can also work the wide side, and you just want to read the player over top of the bubble, and if at the snap he stays inside on the run, then throw that bubble quick to the outside, and this can get you some really easy yards. Then if you read the player over the bubble and he jumps out to the bubble, then Then you can have the quick slant coming in behind him, and if he's open, just drop it into him. Then lastly on this play, if at the snap the whole defense is dropping back to play your multiple RPO options, then just hand this ball off to your running back and there should be a ton of room for him on the ground. Clemson's offense with Trevor Lawrence excelled with a versatile passing attack that kept defenses on their heels. They mixed quick screens and slants to exploit short coverage, then intermediate routes like digs and corner routes to find gaps in coverages. Clemson also thrived on deep shots, leveraging Lawrence's strong arm and their fast receivers. And in College Football 25, we'll use this approach by combining quick passes with vertical routes, forcing defenses to defend every part of the field and making our offense incredibly tough to stop. Now, the first pass we are looking at here is PAY wheel, and this is an incredible zone beating play that will give us a ton of great options to push the ball down the field. This play starts with the wheel route up the sideline, and this can be dropped in behind the flat defender for some massive gains down the field. Then we have a deep crosser going across the field that can get to a great area of the field, and you can fire it in for big pickups. Then behind that, we also have this deep post, and our motioned in streak route from the solo receiver should pull back the deep blue defender, and then you can drop this post in for massive pickups. Then lastly, we can always check it down to the running back in the flats, and overall this is one of the best vertical passing plays I have used all year in College Football 25. Next up, we have fake jet toss pass. This is going to start with a jet motion, and you can set this up by calling your jet touch pass play first. Then when we run our fake, now it can really pull the user out of the middle of the field, and then in behind him we can have this tight end running this deep over route, and you can fire this in early over the middle of the field if the linebackers leave, or you can wait until he gets deeper in along the sideline in behind the flat defenders for big pickups. Then if the middle of the field isn't open, we're also going to have this curl route on the wide side sitting down against the zone coverage, and if the flat stays shallow, you can fire this into the curl for a really nice gain. Then on this play, you have two check down options with the running back in the flat and the wide receiver after his jet motion. You can just go to either one and pick up whatever yards are there. Then next up, we have Y corner, and this is a great man beating play that gives us four really good options to attack man coverage. First, we have our tight end on the corner route, and this is the first place I will look. He's going to break off from his man, and if he's open, fired him for a big pickup. Then you could also work the C route on the solo side. These routes can be great, and you want to throw this as the receiver breaks, and he'll lose his man for easy yards. Then there's also our running back on the option route, and against man, he will break into the middle of the field, and he can get a ton of separation from his man coverage for easy yards. Then lastly, if you're getting blitzed or you need a check down, then look to the whip breaking to the sideline. Then if they do call zone, this can still work. You just want to high-low the flat defender on the wide side of the field with the tight end corner route, and if the flat stays shallow, throw the corner in over his head, and if the flat stays back, then you can check it down to the whip underneath. Then if you want to take this offense to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now, I have the second part of this Clemson spread to run offense. It is going to be 9 more plays for this scheme, and if you combine it with the stuff in this video, it is just going to make it even that much better. Then there's also our 2 other full schemes up for this offense with my Chip Kelly Oregon spread and my Pat White West Virginia offense, and they're all in the USC Playbook, so you can make them one scheme. Then on defense, I've started my first full defense where I'm breaking down my Nick Saban match defense from his time at Alabama. It is an incredible way to lock down your opponent based on how the real life Tide dominated college football defensively, and there's already a ton of videos up for that defense on the site right now. Then by subscribing to the site, you'll also get access to all my Madden 25 content. So far, we have multiple mini schemes out in Madden. Then I am working on our full first scheme, and that is in the works right now. So you'll receive all that content plus the NCAA material all for one price. So for the site, you can purchase the yearly membership, which will save you $50 over the course of the year. Then I'm also running my Bama sale on the site, and this will run until September 9th. Use code BAMA25 to get 50% off your first month if you do the monthly membership. And if you want to check out the site, I will link it down below. Now we're going to break down a new section I'm excited to include in my videos where we're going to break down what we can learn from the real life implementation of the Clemson offense and how we can use those same strategies in our scheme in College Football 25. And we're going to cover some game plan elements you can use in game. Clemson's offense thrived by strategically leveraging dynamic playmakers like T. Higgins, Justin Ross, and Travis Etienne. They focused on getting them the ball in space through screens, quick passes, and creative motions. This strategy forced defenses to heavily focus on these stars, creating opportunities for Clemson to capitalize on defensive overcommitment with constraint plays. These are plays that work by setting up one play to draw a defense's attention, then you can throw a counter at them with a complementary play that exploits the gaps left by defenders, leading to big gains, and this really makes it tough for defenses to stop you. For example, we're going to have Orbit RPO Alert Bubble. This starts with a bubble motion to the wide side of the field, and if the defense stays inside, then you just want to fire this ball out on the perimeter and you can pick up a ton of easy yards, and you should be able to make them pay for staying inside, and you can just get the ball out into a playmaker's hands in the open field where he can be incredibly dangerous. Then if the defense overcommits to the bubble and the user vacates the middle, you can just hand this ball off to your running back, and with the user out of position, this should allow you to get some big yards up the middle of the field. Then the constraint play we are going to run off of this will be Orbit PA Counter, and to set this up, come out with your bubble to the wide side, then put your tight end on a slant. Now this will start with the bubble motion, which if we set it up right, should pull the user out of the middle. Then at the snap, we're going to have the tight end on a slant and the wide receiver on a crosser attacking the middle of the field, and you can just go to whichever one is more open for a nice pickup. Then on this play, we're going to have two underneath options with a wide receiver on a bubble and the running back in a flat, and if the options are covered deep, you can just check it down to either of them. Then one of the hallmarks of the Clemson offense under Lawrence was their ability to keep defenses guessing with a balanced attack. If the defense stacked the box to stop the run, then we're going to look to push the ball down the field. If they drop back into coverage, we're going to take advantage of the numbers and run the ball down their throat. And when they overcommit to either, then we can always mix in a ton of RPOs to put them in no-win situations. Now, when we see defenses bring safeties down into the box to stop the run, we really want to utilize a cover 3 beater in this offense to make them pay for overplaying to stop our run or RPO game. To set this up, come out with your tight end to the short side of the field, then take your outside receiver on the wide side and put him on a slant and motion him across the field. Then lastly, take your running back and put him on a streak, and that is the whole setup. Now versus cover 3, the deep middle safety will get held inside by the running back on the streak, and the backside deep third will get held down by the comeback route, and once the post clears the middle safety, you can bomb them deep over the top for a one-play touchdown versus these cover 3 defenses. Now with just what you have here, this Clemson offense will be great, but remember, there's part 2 for this offense up on Scheme Kings right now that is just gonna take this scheme to a whole nother level. But then if you want a full breakdown on the idea behind my full spread to run offense and a deep dive into the personnel we will be using for this scheme, then you can check out the intro video for the whole offense right here.